Hello, my name's Ali Cross. Welcome to the Inner Space Studio. I'm going to take you through a short few exercises in Pilates, about 15 minutes, so that just enough to keep you both supple and strong in the times when you're not able to get to a class. So we're going to start off by just lying down on our mats, bringing your feet and your knees hip width apart and elongating the spine as we lay ourselves down as long as we can. Good. And we're going to start out by just mobilising the spine and doing some spine curls. So let's take a breath and elongating through the whole length of the spine. And as you breathe out, just engaging those deep abdominals, we lift the tailbone through our legs, peeling the bones away one at a time. We're going to push the hips up nice and high, as if we're opening up these hips towards the ceiling. Take a breath when you reach the top and allow your shoulders to drop to the mat. And then you're going to breathe out, and as you breathe out, you're coming down. You're going to bring the ribs down before the waist and the waist before the hips. Lengthen your tail out nice and long till we find that neutral position again with the weight resting on the sacrum. Take your breath again, elongating as you do that. Breathe out and lift your tail up through your legs. There's a sense of traction here, as if we're trying to pull the tail out into the distance between the knees. So let's really feel that length. It's going to make your quads really stretch as well. Take a lovely breath, and then when you get to the top, breathe in, breathing out, rolling the spine back down in a lovely long line underneath us on the mat. The tail lengthens away again, and we take our next breath. Breathing out again, the tail is lifting through the legs. Peel away bone by bone, lifting up, taking a breath when we get to the top, and then coming down softly through the bones, rolling down into the mat. Lengthen your tail, reach it away, keeping that nice length through the back of your neck. Take a breath again as we lift your tail up, we're breathing out. Remember to use those deep abdominals, pelvic floor and your transversus muscle drawing in softly and gently towards the back of the body. As we lift up those hips, the glutes are active, so this is really switching on underneath us. Take a breath, and then we're coming down softly through the spine. Roll your body down into the mat, lengthening your tail away. Now from here we're going to do a little bit with our feet. I always like to work the feet because they're the foundation of everything else on top. So let's draw the toes underneath towards your heel. So your toes are coming in. That makes the arch of your foot lift. Lift your toes away from the mat and then send them away, spreading your toes as you bring them down into the mat again. So your toes are coming in, we can feel all those muscles under the arch of the foot really working. Lift your toes away, send them out, and then spreading your toes as we bring them back down again. Let's do two more. Toes under. It does feel a little bit crampy when you're doing this, so if you feel like your feet are going to cramp, just send your toes away as quickly as you can, and then bring your toes down. Let's take it one more time. The toes come under. We lift them, and then we send them away, and we lengthen out again. So your toes are now nice and long, spreading the toes. We're going to do a couple more spine curls, as we did before, but adding some arms now. So let's take a breath, elongating again through the crown of the head to the tail. Breathe out and feel the traction as you pull your tail out into the distance between your knees. Try to keep those shoulders relaxed on the floor. That's a little bit tricky. And now on your in-breath, your arms are traveling over the ceiling. Try to keep the distance long between your arms and your armpits. Take a breath and then drawing your spine down into the mat. We're rolling down through the rib cage, through the waistband, down into the hips again. Return your arms, inhale, exhale. Let's take that again. Breathing out and lifting the tail up, engaging those deep abdominals here. Glutes are active underneath as we push those hips up to the ceiling. And nice distance between your arms and your armpits. Take a breath. And then breathing out, rolling away. Roll the ribs down, roll the waistband down. Tailbone lengthens away, and we bring the arms up to the ceiling. From here, we rotate the arms. So now your palms are looking towards each other, and we lay the arms wide to the side. The feet are now going to come together. So bring your feet together and your knees together, gluing everything tightly, as if we have Velcro between the insides of our legs. We're going to take a few hip rolls here, nice simple ones. Take a breath, and then on your out breath, you're going to keep those knees glued together, sides of the feet stay glued together, and we roll the hips. Remember that the movement is driven from your pelvis, and your legs are just sitting inside the pelvis. Take a breath, reach those knees into the distance a little further, and then on your out breath, you're going to roll your hips back into the mat. So we're going to drive the movement from the pelvis, breathing out. The legs are just sitting inside your pelvis and going along for the journey, like passengers. Take a breath. You're going to breathe and reach into those knees, sending them further away. And then breathing out as you roll your hips back into the mat. Let's take it again. Inhale, exhale, hips rolling over. Drive the movement from the pelvis, not from your legs. Just have your legs squeezing together and then reach them just a little further. Let's keep our shoulders on the ground if we can. So you're keeping both shoulders heavy on the floor. Breathe out and roll your body back into the mat. And let's take it to the other side. Breathe in, breathe out. Use your tummy muscles to help move those hips across. Turning your head away. Reach your knees on the in-breath. And then breathing out as you roll your hips back again. Bringing your legs back as the hips return. We're just going to take it a little bit more demanding now. So breathing in and out, we go into our next hip roll. And then from here, we extend the top leg. So you're reaching it away. Good. Now from here, keep that leg long. Your knees should be tightly squeezing now. And breathe out as you roll your hips back, carrying that long leg over the ceiling. Bring your foot back down. I'm going to take that to the other side. So we're going into the hip roll. Imagine a tight band around your knees here. And as you breathe in, just send your top leg long. Reach it into the distance. And then breathe out and roll your hips back into the mat. Return your legs. Good. And now from here, our arms are going to come down for a moment because we're going to separate the feet now so that they're hip width apart again. And the hands are going to be clasped behind the back of the skull. And as we lay the head down, just elongate the back of your neck so you're really pulling your head away from your shoulders here. So we're going to take a little slide of the right leg. The right leg slides away. Just reach it into the distance. And now you're going to take a curl up. You're going to take your right armpit across your body towards your opposite hip. And then you're going to slide back down, slide your leg in as you lie down. Let's do that on the other side. Slide your left leg away, curl up and rotate into the obliques, bringing your left armpit across your body to your right hip bone. And then you return. We're going to slide in the left leg. Let's take that again. So slide your right leg across the floor, reach it into the distance, curl up. Good. Now we're going to release the right arm and reach across your body. Try to curl up a little higher. Now as we lie down, this arm is going to circle around the head. Around it comes. Curl up again. Reach across over the opposite side of this knee that's up. And then around we go in a circle. Watching your arm as it goes around in a circle. Curl up and reach across again. Really reach across. You can feel these obliques. And then you're going to lie down and circle your arm. We're going to do it one more time. So curl up and reach across your body. Reaching. Trying to curl up a little higher if we can. And then we're rolling back onto the mat. We're going to slide sliding that leg again. Return your hands behind your head. Now we do that on the other side. So it's the left leg that slides away and we release this left arm. We're going to curl up and reach across the body. Now as we lie down, the arm circles around our head. Just move your eyes following your arm as it circles. And then I'm trying to curl up a little higher as I reach across my body. And then I lie down. The other hand, of course, is always supporting your head, so there shouldn't really be any neck strain going on. Reaching across, feeling those obliques working, rolling back into the mat as we circle around. Just follow that arm with your eyes. One more time. Let's curl up, reaching across the body, and then around we come, lying down. And finishing the exercise by just sliding your leg back in towards your sit bone. Good. So now we're going to change our position. We're going to use a pillow. And we're going to start lying down sideways. So just place yourselves on your mat. You can use a folded up towel instead of a pillow. And we're going to do some oysters. So we need to bring the soles of our feet in line with our tailbone and our sacrum. So just make sure your knees aren't too far forward. Swing those feet back in line with your tail. Keep the waist lifted off the floor here so we're not collapsed through the spine. So there will be a little tiny space underneath us here as we rest, and the fingertips are just light here on the floor. We're going to keep the pelvis nice and steady here as we start our oysters. So imagine that you've got a champagne glass sitting here on the top of your hip bone. So we're not going to let that pelvis roll. We're going to keep it nice and steady and still. And the movement is done from deep within the hip socket. So it's a rotation within the socket, mobilizing and strengthening those muscles around the hip and within the pelvis. So we're going to do just a couple more of this. To remember to keep your waist lifting as you're doing your oysters. We're going to do one more oyster. So let's open the knee, and this time we leave that leg in the open position. Now, your thigh bone stays still, but we extend the leg out into the distance, and all of a sudden your leg feels like it weighs a ton. Bring your foot back in. Try and find your other foot. That's easier said than done. And then lower your knee. Let's try it again. Open up and then send your leg into the distance. This leg should still be in rotation, so your knee is trying to look at the ceiling and your heel is trying to face the floor. Let's bring the foot back, find your other foot and lower knee to knee. Let's take it again and open up and extend. Now if you're feeling really brave, you're going to start little tiny circles as if we're trying to describe the circumference of a tennis ball. So you're just going around the outside of that tennis ball. Remember, your hips are still in the upright position. Don't let your hips roll backwards here. So you've got to keep that hip balancing over the underneath hip bone. Just do a few more little circles. Try to keep your knee facing the ceiling and your heel facing the floor. Then we're going to fold in the leg and lower the leg down. Just tap out the muscles here around the hip. That's where you've been working. So you're going to feel that. Now in a moment we're going to do that on the other side. But first of all, we're turning onto our tummies and we're going to do just a little mini cobra. So let's turn over onto your front. You can lose your pillow now for a moment, so just push that away. And as we lie down on the front of our hips here, we're going to take the hands just to the outside of the mat. You'll probably find that your fingertips are level with your eyes, okay? So now as you put your head down towards the floor, don't actually touch the floor. You're hovering over the mat, so your nose won't be squashed on the floor. That's going to work your deep neck flexors, and that's a really good thing. So first of all, we're just going to push a marble away softly with our noses. Remember to keep the back of your neck nice and long here as you do that. And then our focus turns to the breastbone. So lift that breastbone here and away from your rib cage. Your ribs are staying on the mat and your breastbone is lifting away from the mat. There shouldn't be any pain here in your lower back. If there is, you've probably come too high or you've let go of your tummy muscles. So make sure your tummy muscles are really switched on. And then we're coming down again. Remember not to actually touch your nose on the floor here. Roll away your marble again and lift up, focusing on your breastbone. Yeah, lift that. It's really good to keep a sense of length here through the tailbone. So we can imagine that someone's pulling your tailbone long down towards your toes. That will also make sure that your lower back doesn't feel any strain. And then we're coming down again without touching the floor. We're going to take another breath and breathe out. All the time that we're working, we're trying to keep the distance long between our ears and our shoulders. So really nice long distance here. Take a breath and then roll back down again or lower back down. We're going to take it one more time. So take a breath and then roll away the marble. Lift your breastbone high, keeping your ribs on the floor. We're going to take a breath and then we're slowly coming down. Good. From here, you're just going to come back into a little rest position. We're not going to spend long in the rest position, but I just want you to come back and settle your tailbone down to your heels. We can leave the knees open a little bit, and we're just going to take a gentle stretch here. So in this position, you can really let go. You can really relax into this. Your tummy muscles can let go as well, and you can let your head rest on the mat if you want to. So you don't have to have your head hovering. You can actually put your head all the way down. And then from here we roll up. So if you start with your tummy muscles, lifting your tummy off of your legs, roll up sequentially through the spine until we have recovered and we are back. Now we're going to take our pillow again and we're going to do the oysters on the other side. So remember, you put the soles of your feet in line with your tailbone, and then you're lying down, making sure that your waist is lifted. We go into the oysters. Remember, your champagne glass is here, sitting on your hip bone so that we don't roll the pelvis and lose our glass. So keep the hips upright, keep the waist lifted, and just feel the action of what we're doing. We're rotating that thigh bone within the hip socket. We always think about our bones moving. I think it simplifies everything that we do. So just focus on what your bones are doing. Opening up. That's it, knee to ceiling. And we're going to do one more. And then from here, we keep the thigh bone frozen in space here, where we extend the lower part of the leg into the room, keeping the rotation, heel to floor, knee to ceiling. Fold your foot back, and then lower knee to knee. Let's do it again. Opening up, and then extend your leg away. Folding in, and then lower knee to knee. Let's try it again. Opening up the knee. Good. Extending away. This is a really tricky move, but it's really strengthening for all the muscles around the hip. You can feel it as you're doing it. Open up and extend away. Now this is the really hard bit. We're going to try and keep that leg in rotation and try our little circles. So you're going around the circumference of a tennis ball here. Going around. Keep the tummy muscles working. Make sure that your hips are still upright. And do 3 more little circles. 2, 3. And then just fold in your leg again. Lower down your knee. And you can really feel where you've worked. So you just want to tap it out a little bit. Just releasing some of the tension in there. And then we're going to come up and back. We come onto our tummies so that we can do the full cobra next. We've already done the mini cobra. So let's have your legs now extended a little wider, for this exercise. It's nicer for your hips if the legs are just a little bit more open. And then again, the hands are going to be just in line with your eyes, pretty much. So let's bring yourselves down again, not touching the floor, just hovering. We're going to start with a breath and we're going to roll away the marble as we did on the mini cobra. Lift your breastbone. Now, as you come a little higher, you'll start to feel your glutes working. That's great. You want them to switch on and you want your legs to be working now. Stretch them across the floor behind you. And now try to come up with as little work in your arms as possible. We want to feel as though we're lifting through the back muscles and through the tummy muscles. My arms are doing 20% and my back and my tummy are doing the rest 80%. And then let's lengthen down, reaching our belly button away from us as we lower into the mat again. Let's try it again. Roll your marble away first and then peel away. Up we come. And when we get to the top here, I want you to imagine that you're trying to pull your belly button out the top of your trousers. So you're going to lift your belly button up and then send it forwards 2 inches further away from your pubic bone as you lower down. That way we're sort of decompressing this area, keeping the length, which is lovely. Let's go again. Roll your marble, lift up, peeling the bones away. Remember, your arms aren't doing too much work if we can help it. Feel your back strong and your tummy muscles are like scaffolding from underneath, holding us up. Lift your belly button now, stretch it out the top of your trousers and reach it 2 inches further across the floor as we lie down. Let's do it one more time and breathing out for the movement. Peel your bones away, lifting up, stretching your legs across the floor. You'll feel all the muscles in the back of the body working, and then lift your tummy again, stretch it out the top of your trousers and reaching forwards. When you come down now, just bring your hands underneath your head like a pillow and just rest your head for a moment in that position. Just breathe nice and naturally. Just let go of your tummy muscles as well in this position. Your head is resting and you're just relaxing. Now from here we're going to go into a proper rest position, which we've done before. We're going to sit back into our heels again. So just lift yourselves up. And as you settle back, you'll feel your lower back really enjoying this stretch now. So your bottom is settled on your heels and your head hopefully it's going to come close to the floor. Doesn't have to touch, but if it does, that's great. So let's bring the head down as low as it can come. And you're just going to stay there for a couple of seconds, relaxing in this rest position. If your knees don't like this position, the alternative would be to lie on your back and to just hug your knees towards your chest. So this is a lovely one. If your knees don't like being in the previous rest position, this is great. You can always hold under your knees as well and draw your knees up if that's more comfortable for you. So that's the end of our very short 15-minute workout. I hope you're going to use it so that you can keep nice and strong and supple, and I'll see you again soon. This has been Ali Cross at the Inner Space Studio. Thank you very much for watching.